I don't believe in violent protests. I don't believe in staging marches and things like that. And I don't believe the system can be used to bring down the system because it's an inherently corrupt system. But council meetings are open meetings. Council meetings are for the town. And what if the entire town showed up at the council meetings? What if the entire town showed up and presented this issue to the council and said, we as your constituents want this dealt with, here's the information, we'll be back next week, and if you don't have someone from higher up here to address this issue and give us answers next week, then we'll be back the following week with more people. And we're going to keep coming back until we get this problem addressed. We want to know who is spraying and what is being sprayed. We want to know who's financing it, and we want answers. And we will not take no for an answer. Because something simply has to be done, folks. It's all very nice to go in there and say, excuse me, sir, I've got this information I'd like you to look at. But they won't look at it because they're either criminals or they're being puppeteered. So what we have to do is we have to walk in and demand answers. Peacefully, non-violently, but we have to demand answers. We also have to approach the police and tell them what's going on and demand that they address this situation and look into this situation. Because this affects them too. It affects every man, every woman, and every child on the planet. All of the problems that we face, folks, the chemtrails, the GM food, the confiscating of raw food that we're seeing, the genetic engineering, eugenics, the wars, the pollution, what's happening in the Gulf of Mexico. As I've often said, all of these problems have a common cause. That cause is the corruption of the system itself and humanity's collective failure to ever stand up and claim their power and fix the situation that we face. But it's now gotten to a time where we simply don't have a choice anymore. Because with the chemical spraying, the aerosol spraying, the geoengineering as they call it, with the loss of organic foods and the loss of vitamins and minerals, what is now at stake is the very survival of the human race. And it's up to us to collectively stand up and address this situation. Whoever or whatever is in charge of the global economy, the global government that already exists, whether people realize it or not, whoever or whatever this force is, it has become glaringly obvious that this force simply does not have humanity's best interest at heart, nor do they have the best interest of the planet at heart. When everything around us is placed on the global stage and looked at holistically, whether it be from any perspective, religious, scientific, atheist, spiritualist, whatever, nothing that is going on in the world today makes any sense whatsoever. There is such a massive imbalance of energy in the world right now, and it really is time for people to start addressing the shadow. And it's very much time for people to obtain the state of balance that they should be in, to address the spiritual and the physical. I know it's probably been rather a heavy type of a show today, and not the usual energy talk or spiritual talk that I try to bring to you, but I'm really beginning to notice a difference in the place around here with the amount of chemical spraying that's been going on at night. And I am quite concerned about the levels of aluminium that are being reported around the place. I'm going to attempt to get hold of some water and air and soil samples myself and attempt to have them tested, if I can afford to do so. It's just a little bit difficult at the moment. Perhaps if anyone wants to help with a donation towards anything like that, that would be great. That might permit me to be able to get some done. I'd like to have some just so I've got some ammunition to take to the council chambers with me. But I think it's an important issue, folks, and that's why I've dedicated most of this show to it. I'm actually going to try to get hold of Michael Murphy or Ed Griffin and have them on the show to talk about the film at some stage. I also want to bring on a gentleman called Rob Crombie, who's done some work, and he's discovered some interesting information about the Fire of London, and he's also discovered some very interesting information about what happened to a large portion of America's bailout money, and an interesting fact concerning the Commonwealth Bank and $3 billion worth of mortgages that they are supposed to be in possession of. So I'm actually going to try to have him on the show next week. I wanted to have him on this week, but I just haven't had the time. It's been rather a hectic week. And so I'll try to organise that for you next week. I'm a little bit disorganised at the moment, folks, so you'll just have to bear with me in that respect. But I think we're pretty close to the end of the show here now, and so I'm going to have to leave it here. And I really do hope that you act on some of the information that I've given you today. I do very much urge you to get a copy of the film What in the World Are They Spraying, and get it out to your friends, copy it and give it out to people. Get the information out to people, as many people as you can. I think chemtrails is an issue that can be used to unite everybody. It's just getting people to wake up out of their TV reality and realise what a contrail is. That seems to be the hard part with most people, folks. They just go for whatever the television news reporter tells them, which is usually whatever they've read off the cue card. But anyway, look, that's about it for me, folks. So it's been a pleasure talking to you again. I'll look forward to speaking to you again next week. Please take care until then. In Lakesh.